everybody. This is Dan A. King, and I'm talking to you from the enormous exhibition that we have every single year here in Las Vegas, where it's hot and windy and puff and huff. If I act a little sluggish, it's because I just got back from launching DMK Italy in Rome at the American Embassy. But I had to come to this convention for two reasons. It's not just because my team is here, but because of some of the top women in the industry. I have with me, sitting next to me, in my opinion, the most incredibly beautiful Amanda Strunk-Miller.
Thank you.
Since, you were a little tiny girl. I've known you since then.
Yes.
And now you're taller than me.
Only with heels on.
Well, whatever.
Whatever.
You know. But Amanda took over the magazine from her parents, Will and Pat Strunk. Actually, I remember when they first bought it from Ron Renee, and I had never seen them before. And they were drop dead beautiful. They looked like the couple on top of a wedding cake. They really did. And they still are. They're still gorgeous, gorgeous people. But one thing that impressed me about you, Amanda, taking over a popular magazine, because it was one of the two, it was Les Nouvelles Esthétiques and Dermascope at that time that were up there. You didn't just inherit it, you decided to buy it, didn't you?
I did.
Okay, which means no strings.
Yes. I've always been raised to be very independent, and I think that I just took that almost to a fault. So when it came time to kind of pass the torch, and it was something that I always knew that I wanted to do whenever I grew up. And, the time came when I had learned all the different departments. I learned the inner workings of the business, and my dad was ready to retire, and it was time to change hands, pass the torch. And I just thought, if I wait and inherit this or partner with him or...
They'll still try to keep their feet in.
Yeah. And I thought, I just want to do this by myself, my way, new generation. And so there have been a lot of changes that have come since 2018 when all of that happened. But it's been a great transition, and we've had even more continued success.
Well, the importance of an aesthetic magazine, a trade magazine, and I've written for many, 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 all over the world for many years, longer than I would even care to admit, is that they are the go-to periodical of the professional therapist. And the ones that realize that, such as Dermascope, that include what we call meaty articles, not just fluff pieces or silly pieces and just a bunch of ads, which a lot of these magazines do just end up being a bunch of ads.
Right.
And this is not servicing the aesthetic community at all. There's no direction to anybody. But you've upheld that standard. Now, didn't you recently, I'm not sure in this, didn't you recently add like a paramedical or a medical?
We did. So, like you're saying, the magazine is not just a typical magazine that you're going to pull off the shelf when you're at the airport. This is a continuing education trade journal specifically for the aesthetics industry to help elevate and educate all of the professionals that are in skincare. Yes. And so I think that a big piece of what makes Dermascope different is that we do want to, as deeply as we can, educate these estheticians. And you're not going to be able to do that in a couple of page article, a 2-page article. You need that meat of it. And we have grown over the years to start including things that we are seeing trending and new mainstays in the industry, like paramedical.
Well, your dad was the first to go online.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. You had an exhibition down in Texas.
Yeah.
And he grabbed me and took me into this hydra with this young kid. He goes, "Look at this today. Look at that. Now you got to get involved with this." And no one was doing that at all.
Yeah.
He was the first to foresee the online power.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, print is nice because it sits around. And if you have an aesthetic cover,
Mm-hmm.
people have it in their clinic or their salon or whatever, and people tend to pick it up and look at it. But online is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm becoming very aware of that myself.
Well, especially with, Google searches and so many, even consumers wanting more education and information on, say, hyperpigmentation or what is vitamin C or, different types of techniques or treatments. And so our website really became very prominent with Google searches and being able to offer that education quickly and at ease online.
Now, I think this might be a little bit of a burden to you. It would to me as a journalist. I would write about certain subjects. I would never mention my own company. I would never mention my own products.
Right.
Unless an editor or a publisher gave me specific permission to, or even asked me to. Some have. I just don't do that. I would lose my credibility in the scientific community. Okay? So haven't you felt kind of strange when somebody advertises with you, pays pretty big bucks for a full page, and you know they're not sincere. You know their stuff is basically kind of a little bit of a ripoff, but you still...
Might be questionable.
Yeah, you just have to pick and choose, and I don't know. That would bother me a lot.
You know, I think it's similar to like trade shows here. I think that, you know, it's the professionals' job to determine when they're walking by and scoping out and, you know, doing their due diligence on the history of the brand, the ingredients in the skincare products. And we really are just the platform to be able to have all of these different educators, writers, and scientists be able to promote and talk about not just their products, but also any type of treatments or trends that they have also created.
Have you ever thought about hiring or having a content editor that can actually guide these people into something more realistic and real than what they're offering?
In terms of editorial?
In terms of editorial.
So we have a few in-house estheticians that we actually hired and have on staff that really help.
I didn't know that.
Well, because at the end of the day, we're editors, we're publishers, and so we're technically in the publishing industry. We just happen to be servicing this beautiful skincare world. And so it is very important for us to be able to have in-house estheticians on staff, on standby. Years ago when my dad did it, he would always utilize the editorial advisory board, right? So, but this is just one extra step, one extra layer that we can have to be able to offer more feedback to our readers about the products.
He was the first one to tell me years ago not to follow any little ruling of subjects.
Okay.
Write what you want, and we'll place it when we feel it's appropriate for that issue.
Yes.
But I said, but I'm very controversial, Will, and certain magazines I won't mention say they can't write about that. He goes, no, that'll never be me.
Right. No, at the end of the day, we're here, like I was saying, we're a platform and we're to provide education, continuing education for the esthetician. And there are some topics in our industry that are debatable, and we feel as though we should offer every brand the same platform to be able to offer your perspective and your side.
Why not? I have begged people for years to get up on a stage with me and debate.
Yeah.
No one ever has so far.
Well, probably won't happen.
Oh dear, I would really love that. Now, the big news is you just celebrated your 50th anniversary.
I did. Yes, we did. 1975.
Oh my God, and I wasn't there. My plane came into town way too late. And I got a beautiful...
Yes, we did. We presented DMK with the Follow the Leader Award.
Follow the Leader Award.
So we presented Icon Awards last night at our 50th anniversary gala event. And of course, we would not be able to have a party without including DMK.
I know. Well, you've been almost like family and friends for many, many years. And we still are. Don't give up on me yet. Now, last thing. Aside from being a really terrific editor, you're also a mom.
I am.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what amazes me about this incredibly stunning woman, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. She has 2 kids, 2 little boys. I met them.
Yes, in New York.
The older one blew me away. He's like a senator. How are you, sir?
Oh, thank you.
That kid's going somewhere.
Thank you.
You wait and see. And she manages to have, because you can tell how kids behave to how they're being brought up. And these are very well-mannered little gentlemen. They are.
Yeah, that's very sweet.
And yet she manages to juggle all that, plus run this internationally known magazine and everything else.
It's a handful.
Do you ever have any off time in your life?
I sleep a lot when I can. No, but I wouldn't be able to do anything in this world without the support network that I have. And my team and my staff at Dermascope, they do it all for me. They're the best. They're the greatest.
Oh, and they love you. They really do love you. And of course, your parents are still.
Yes.
They're very supportive. Well, congratulations on the 50 years.
Thank you,
Let's
today.
go for 50 more where you will look exactly the same.
As long as I keep doing the DMK enzyme. That's right. Yeah.
Goodbye, everybody, and thanks for viewing Ask Me Anything.